Who is this lady? This is Jezebel, the wife of King Ahab. When she hears that Elijah has killed all her prophets, she is so angry. She sends a messenger to Elijah to say, I will make sure that tomorrow you are dead as well. When Elijah hears this message, he is scared. He runs for his life into the wilderness. Can you imagine? After all he has seen from God's power at the Mount Carmel. Yes, this is what can happen with God's servants as well. They can lose hope. Elijah even prays that he might die. Elijah can hide for Queen Jezebel, but he cannot hide for God. And God is merciful. He looks after his servant. After praying, Elijah lays down under a bush and falls asleep. All at once, an angel touches him and says, Get up and eat. Elijah looks around. There by his head is some bread baked over hot coals and a jar of water. He eats and drinks, then he lays down again. The angel of the Lord comes back a second time and touches him and says, Get up and eat, for the journey is too much for you. Elijah gets up, eats and drinks. Strengthened by that food, he travels 40 days and 40 nights until he reaches Horeb, the mountain of God. There God meets him. Elijah experiences a storm and an earthquake and fire. Then a quiet silence follows, and that's when Elijah hears the voice of God. One of the things that God tells Elijah is to go back to Israel and go to a man called Elisha and anoint him to succeed Elijah as a prophet in the future. Elijah obeys. On a certain moment, he's back in Israel and arrives at a field. Do you see him? He has his coat in his hand. In the field a man is plowing with 12 yoke of oxen. His name is Elisha. The prophet Elijah walks up to Elisha and throws his coat over him. It is a sign that God has chosen Elisha to be a prophet and take over from Elijah in the future. Elisha leaves his oxen and runs after Elijah. Let me kiss my father and mother goodbye, he says, and then I will follow you. Elijah replies, Okay, go back. So Elisha returns to his parents. Do you see what he is doing? He is cutting all his tools into pieces. He knows he doesn't need his plow any longer. He can't work in the field when he becomes a prophet in the future. Now his plow becomes firewood. He also slaughters all his cows. There's no way he can carry on the job he had. He cooks the meat and makes a big meal. He shares the meat with his parents and the people who have come to say goodbye. Do you see he obeys the voice of the Lord? He obeys the call for his life. Do you do that as well? After the meal and after saying goodbye, Elisha sets off to Elijah to begin his new job that God has chosen for him. He follows the prophet and serves him. That is a nice example from what Jesus wants us to do. Jesus wants us to follow him and to serve him. Are you doing that already?